I have wanted to show y'all this school for years. It started as the Noble Street Elementary School, and it's pretty awesome. It ended up, I actually went, when I got out of the Navy, I went to Gadsden State Community College here, and then from what I've read, about 2012 they started taking bids to see who wanted it. And you see where that has ended up. And I wanted to show it to you before the bulldozers get here and take it to the ground. Because they will eventually. Right now it's just a place for, I guess, kids to see how far they can throw rocks from the road. See if they can get a window. May not be kids, maybe storms, but I don't know. I always wanted to go on the roof when I went to school here. One of my favorite stories about this school was I was sitting in class one day, and this girl said, she tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Hey Jeff." I said, "Yeah, what's up, dog?" And she said, "You have a bounce hanging out of your pants leg." So it's about as good to get to this story. I did meet one of the first friend I ever had, and my best friend for years while going to school here. He went here, and I'll get to that point in a minute. We got to get around here. In a minute, somebody will call the popo. Maybe not. There's no signs anywhere that says no trespassing, free trespassing coming in or anything. So you just go look at it and you just make a quick video. But I didn't know anybody when I got out of the Navy. And the friend of mine I met was on the steps right there. We were down here because you could park anywhere. And I went, so we got to talking, and next thing I know, we became friends. And now, well, then we started cutting grass together, doing yards. He taught me the biz. And then we went from here to JSU and we both graduated. And he came to me one day and said, "I don't think you'd be upset me. Hey, a bird's going in there." And he said, "Man," because he wanted to be a coach. He's like superstar, all-star athlete at everything he ever did. And I was just the opposite. I played in the dirt and picked four-leaf clovers in the outfield. He said, "Man," his girlfriend at the time, and they may have been married. I don't think they were married. Said she wants me, her dad wants me to come learn the restaurant business. And I said, "Man, you've always wanted to be a coach." He said, "I know." Now he runs he owns the most successful restaurant in this area, along with multiple others. So anyway, this is pretty cool. That's my best stories that I got from this building. My best friend, and hey Jeff, what's up, babe? You got a bounce hanging out of your leg. Wanted to get a little closer so we can actually see what we're seeing. That's kind of difficult. There's a lot of foliage everywhere. I'd come cut this for the city for $750 every week. Nah, I probably wouldn't, because it's all rocks. A lot of it's rocks. And this is what it looks like now inside. You can see the urinal up there on the wall right there. They were really hard to use. You had to come out of that door right there. We had a rope and you could swing around and you'd land on it. And that's the way it would work. And then if you wanted to get the next one, which is gone, someone must have stole it, you had to even do a bigger feat. So this is what it looks like now. Simply waiting on bulldozers. I want to say it's a shame what's become of it, but you can't save every old building and every old school and every old house forever and ever. Because with modernization comes new ways of doing things, more efficient. And that's all I got to say about that right there. Staff only. So this is if you had some sort of infection, this is where you go to the clinic. There's no reason to go in there because you can look right here and see there's nothing in there. It's weird. I remember every piece of this place. Not pizza in this place, but every piece of this place. Except for this piece. I guess that was a bathroom too. After the last class ends for the day, the gate is locked. Yeah, it's done. I remember these filing cabinets like it was yesterday. I specifically remember drawer 51207 and these beautiful bugs. 51207, there it is. 51207. Yes, that's where I never put anything. I don't recall having classes down here, but I do remember the fellow that ran this area, the boiler room, to keep everything working and going. His name was Frederick. Some people called him Freddy. But the only part of the alphabet he ever learned was the letters A to Z. When you asked him about the alphabet, he said A-Z. I said, that's good, Freddie. That's good. Some people think he still lives down here. This was his restroom. Right here. This was his sink, and there was his potty. Right here. And this is where he stayed. He was a collector of potties. He had a very nice collection of peerless potties. Those are actually quality seats if you wanted to sit down and enjoy. So what's important now, always check the date on the newspaper. September 17, 2002. Well, That was 38 years ago. I took all my math classes here, and I did quite well. Let me show you his collection of potties. They were neat. Look at that. Sometimes there's dates in the bowls, right? That one says made in USA. None of the other ones say anything. I want to try one, but there's his shoes. I love those shoes. He's here somewhere. We'll see him in a minute. We may run. But he's got to be in here somewhere. It's a shame that golly, this brings back zero memories because most of my classes run upstairs. But this room it's just overwhelming how it does nothing for me. So let's go somewhere else. Oh, I got one of those nasty bugs on my arm. This stuff is about the worst to step in and breathe. The best you can hope for is moist asbestos because it doesn't float around like dry asbestos. I remember having to do a speech in this school in my first ever speech class. And I'd had college classes before. I took some classes at Maryland University, or University of Maryland. Some people get mad when you say it wrong. Oh, that's Freddie's toaster. Yep, Proctor Silex. That's his. There's his television. This was his secret closet where he'd come and discard. IBM discard. Wow. That's probably my $1 bill right there. But I had to take a speech class. And if you were in college here with me, it was 94, 95, 96, 1900s that is. And this is the green room. This was a horticulture class. Do not step there. I want to finish my speech class, but I'm going to take a minute of... I think that's BM everywhere. Black mold. This is the class where the green fern grows. I'm going to get out of this room because I don't think there's a lot of floor left. And every step I take, every move I make, somebody's watching me. You know, it may have been here, B106. I remember coming into the room like this, and I saw a fella from the class the other day. And it was botany. Oh my goodness. Miss Ballard taught, get out of here. Miss Ballard taught the class. Absolutely the best teacher I ever had in my entire life. She drove a little Cadillac sports car. Oh, she was so passionate. She told us how to seal a tan, how to make your seeds grow, all kind of stuff. We went up with Chia and oh, let's go upstairs. Just an absolutely wonderful teacher. My favorite, probably the greatest impact that was ever left on me was Miss Ballard. And I remember when I first happened with acidosis, skeletal muscle paralysis, cardiac disturbances. This must have been hemoglobin, deoxyhemoglobin, O2 is high, buffer release, hydrogen shifts to. So, and then there's your common photo. But I remember seeing her drive up in that little sports car Cadillac, one little small one. And I always wondered, she must be doing pretty good. And then I learned her husband, I believe he was an engineer or something like that. I don't know what he was. But he worked at Tyson. I remember telling a friend of mine, I said, I guarantee you one thing, that sucker ain't shucking chickens at Tyson's. Because she got a nice car. This is where we used to go. This is where we were looking through a minute ago. I showed you the restroom. That's a piece of something. One of the toughest parts was using that toilet up there. If you could get to the urinal that's just over your head, then you could get to that toilet. Did you see my hand shaking? That was probably not. But Miss Ballard, by far my favorite teacher. So floor number 2. It was in a class over here. The girl told me that I think you come in right there and go in that door. She told me I had the bounce hanging out of my pants leg. And wow. Ooh. Binomial expansion. Horrible, horrible stuff. Do not erase. Oh, they didn't. So speech class. You had to give a speech in speech class, obviously. And I don't remember bathrooms being in all the rooms. I guess I never had to make potties when I went to school here. But I was always potty shy, even in the Navy. I got up before everyone. First of all, they woke us up crazy early in boot camp and everything. And Psychology 210. All it took was one day showering with about 80 guys. And the next day, I was up an hour before everybody else for the rest of my time in boot camp to shower and to get ready before they all got back up. Then I'd just go get back in my bunk, and when it was time to get up, I would be ready. I'm watching my step. That's why I keep pausing. Oh, speech class. you're wondering about that. Here's the problem. I have no idea where the door is where I came in. I'm gonna have to get in touch with the local recruiter, get them down here to update this stuff. This is ridiculous. Speech class. It was down here somewhere, second floor, third floor. I don't know. You know, there's... Oh, look. That's the old school. 1990. So speech class. I just heard somebody knock on the door. Reading class has been moved to us. Reading class. Reading. This was a college. Okay. Somebody wrote a bunch of vulgarity on that wall. So speech class. I was trying to figure out who keeps knocking on the door. Somebody's knocking. Should I let him in? The Book of Mormon. This was actually a popular book. It should say Mormon. Western Civ. I had Western Civ. Graphics for engineers. What's the reason? Please no smoking in the bathroom. Third floor. So reading class. No, speech class. I remember going to speech class day one, which is look at these little bitty potty doors. I've never been here. It's like, hey dude, what are you doing over there? Okay, never mind, this is a girl box. They had a gum machine in the girls' restroom. Never eat anything out of the restroom. Oh, that reminds me of another story. Gas State Community College. God, there's another floor. Third floor. Speech class. I want to tell you this story. It's a fun tip for all you children who are watching. Even though kids don't watch my videos. Look at that old door. Where does that door go to? Where do we go from here? What is this? Isn't that a cool door? It doesn't open, so you can't do anything in there. It's just a cool little door. It's like a little, I wonder if it was a phone booth. We'll never know. Yes, Sound. I can't stand it. I gotta know. So moved a few items off the floor. Huh. So we can look in here. It's just a closet. U.S. Space Academy. That's my bell. Speech class. So speech. Yeah, I've never been. This must be like where the grown-ups hung out when there were no classes going on. If you know Miss Ballard, tell her about this video. She's my favorite teacher. I haven't seen her in years, and I'd give anything to say hey and remind her again of what an impact she made on my life. I don't know what this machine is. Hello? Hello. Hey, can you get me Aunt B? Obviously broken. Speech class. Okay. Hey, there's another one. About the only thing in this building that is salvageable. Are these cute little doors. There's a library. I do not take anything out of anywhere unless I find it in a street or in a ditch. Y'all know that. So we went into speech and that's laminated. And everybody's sitting there with their nerves just going crazy. And that's pretty cool, huh? And the teacher said, pretty much, make a long story short, you're giving a speech today. You got to stand up and give a speech. And she made you come to the front of the class. She had a bunch of topics written out. And you had to go to the class and I don't want to go back that way because it's okay. This is where you just go to the bathroom. Right here. You go up here. Then you come over here. And you go over here. And you would swing down. Oh, I'm getting, what's the word? Arachnophobia. The hardest part about using that sink over there was getting there. That sit-down seat over there was only for emergencies. That one was used more often because you had the heater right there. And then oh, there's the urinal right there. You had to swing to that. It's making me anxious. So I went to the front. Everybody went to the front and got there in a line, got their things. Oh, there's the exit. I got there. You get your speech. Horizon line, eye level, linear perspective. Ugh. This is this foulness over there again. And my speech had to be on my paranormal experiences. I had no idea what that meant, so I asked her, and she said, just your paranormal experiences, like things that are odd or weird or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She said, just give me a speech. And I said, okay. So I go back and sit down, and everybody else got theirs. And who has time to come here and just simply write foul stuff on the boards? So then everybody's sitting down, and there's sweat all over the room. Come on, let's sweat. Cool little doors. And then she said, okay, let's get started. And she called my name first. First. And I stood up and went up there with all the confidence in the world, about ready to pass out. And I propped up on the podium like I was about to give the best sermon of my life. And I said, hey, I remember this. I said, have you ever been walking down the street and all of a sudden you feel yourself floating, looking down at yourself? Oh. And I guess I talked for 5 minutes. I don't know how long I talked. And this is the top. Yeah, we're not going to venture up there, but this is the exit to go out to the front again. It's the stable side of the building. Since the storms come from the west, they mainly hit over there and blast out everything except for that window. So I'm going to finish my story, then we'll get done with this. So I gave my speech, and I went back to the very back of the room and hid, like was where I usually did, until I, got a little more secure. And then I realized I'm not learning anything without sitting in the front, because all these people in front of me are very distracting. So I gave my speech, and I learned a very valuable lesson that day. Always, this is for everybody getting ready to go to college or high school, always volunteer to go first, because everybody else is just as panic-stricken as you are. Don't flush anything other than toilet paper, thank you. That could pose a problem. Right? So I guess you're only allowed to go in there and get toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. I don't know where you would actually go to the restroom then. So this is it. The valuable lesson is go first and get it over with. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and when an hour rolls by and an hour and a half rolls by, you're going to be so panic-stricken by the time it becomes your turn that you're going to absolutely be horrified, unless you're just confident. And I've never been that confident until I got older. That's why you see old people run around and say things that they just don't care what people think. They have no filter. I ask the Lord every day not to let me get to that point. Can we go in here? So there's your goal. Go first and get it over with. So yeah, speech. Oh, what was the other class I had to take? We had to do a, here's another one of those doors. Remember when light bulbs were made of glass? Yesterday, all my light bulbs seem. So, oh, look at this. I don't know how to use these. Cool. Look at that. Remember when light bulb? It's done though. Another class I had, we had to make a video, do a little short video skit story and present it to the class. That may have been speech also. It was fun. I don't remember, but it was fun. So this is the old Gaston State Community College. And Noble Street School. Thanks for watching my videos. I'm not done yet. Now I'm done. Thanks for watching my videos.